record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kick-off is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are three changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. The Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are two changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are 3 changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are 2 changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are 3 changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are 2 changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place and without a win in 7, there are 3 changes from Graham Potter, Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. Arsenal are looking to climb back into the top 4 of the Premier League standings this afternoon when they welcome Brighton to the Emirates Stadium. Emirates has been a happy hunting ground for the Gunners this season. They've got the third best home record in the division, but they lost at last time out when they travelled to Crystal Palace. They'll be eager to respond to that today. There are 2 changes made by Mikel Arteta, Lokonga and Martinelli coming in. As for Brighton, who are down in 13th place. Well, here we go then, 3 p.m. kickoff. It is Arsenal against Brighton this afternoon. The Gunners looking to get back up into the top 4 of the Premier League standings. Brighton just looking to address a poor run of form, winning 7 games for the Seagulls, but they have got a bit of history against Arsenal. Will bode well for them today when they head to the Emirates. In terms of the team news, as Brighton is looking back to their goalkeeper. 2 changes for Arsenal as they attempt to respond to defeat against Crystal Palace last time out. Lokonga and Martinelli come in. Breakoff is done well, but tries to get through, but there is Ramsdale to meet him. So Arsenal in full of Ramsdale, Cedric, White, Gabriel and Xhaka. Odegaard, Lokonga, Smith Rowe, Saka, Lacazette and Martinelli. There are 3 changes for Brighton. They drew 0-0 with Norwich. You've got Webu, Caicedo and Bissouma. So they are Sanchez, Veltman, Dunk and Cucurella. Webu, McAllister, Gross, Caicedo and Bissouma, Trossard and Welbeck. So Bobby Jackson and Max Hunter with you for today's game. And for Arsenal, it's a case of just building momentum now at this stage of the season.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, it's all about just chasing that Europa League spot, isn't it? That Manchester United result this morning has maybe eased the pressure, or you could say it's either way, it's eased the pressure or put more pressure on them to make the most of that opportunity. And you mentioned earlier that Brighton have good form. It's very even, and they've faced each other 9 times, so it's 3 results each in all columns. When you think about Arsenal versus Brighton, traditionally you're thinking Arsenal should are a mountain of a club compared, with the greatest respect to Brighton and Hove Albion. They should waltz this one, but Brighton have historically put up a bit of a fight against the Gunners. But today's going to be a tough one. You said they were 1 in 7. It's been rather uninspiring recently from Graham Potter's side.
Yeah, there's still some room for them maybe to improve between now and the end of the season. It's very tight in that mid-table. Found themselves 13th going into today's game, but they're actually only 2 points off, or 3 points off a point that they're currently being got, but 3 points adrift of the likes of Crystal Palace in 9th. So top half finish, something Brighton have never achieved in the Premier League. Could still be on. They need to try and turn these performances into results. A side that just struggled to convert. That's been a long-term problem for them. And today, no chances just as of yet. Just over 2 minutes play. Brighton trying to work it in midfield, but they crowded out. It's the Conga who brings it away for Arsenal. It's the man who's playing as left-back today, Granit Xhaka. Been an issue in that area of the field for the Gunners of late. Tavares, he's on the bench, but recently faced a fair bit of criticism. I think Mikel Arteta just looking to protect it slightly potentially getting deeper and deeper into that hole that he's dug himself. Martin Odegaard is down for Arsenal. The ball has gone out. Smith Rowe, is down. The ball has gone out, so that means we will get a break in play organically. I think he wants a free kick. He's trying to sort of gesture there that his boots kind of half come off his foot.
Yeah, but that can also happen in a genuine football tackle, which David Coop, and I didn't see anything too untoward. I think it was just he himself, Smith Rowe, thought he's been hard done by, which is struggled to find a Premier League footballer who doesn't think he's been hard done by, especially when he's lost the ball.
Arsenal clipping it out from the back now by England international Ben White, flicked on by his compatriot Bukayo Saka. Doesn't stick for the Gunners. Brighton will reclaim it in a central area. They go back to Joel Veltman, which turns away from the pressure of Gabriel Martinelli. Goes back to Robert Sanchez. Brighton begin from deep. Sanchez, man who's been in the news this week with some reports that Newcastle are interested in signing him over the summer. Brighton have made it clear that they aren't willing to let the Spaniard leave, but see how money talks as that summer transfer window opens.
I was about to say how much money are Brighton willing to wait out for. Well, they got a high price out of Arsenal for Ben White, 50 mil, with Leeds coming in around the 30 offer, how far they all wanted to go. So it's Brighton have got history. Well, say history once before they've held out for a big club with a lot of money, but Newcastle, you say their direct opposition is they lose on the ball on the left hand side, but the budget and the ambition, I say otherwise, compared to direct opposition.
Opposite directions. I think Dan Burn, the most recent example as well, over the January winter, it was around about 20 million they got for him in the end after turning down 2 or 3 bids. So it is a case of just Newcastle having to test the waters, you'd imagine. As Arsenal come forward now looking to test the waters on the attack. It's Lacazette across to the left-hand side for Martinelli. Ball was slightly behind him, so some momentum lost, but then he injects the pace, brings his side a corner. Nice work there from the Brazilian.
Yeah, good work from Veltman also, using his long legs. He's 6 foot plus handsome as well. He's got down to his slide and cut the ball out comfortably, nowhere near the man, but good build-up. I say it's good build-up. It's good build-up from Martinelli. He said Lacazette's pass was way behind him, gets past him with real ease, and then Veltman had to step across and put that ball behind for the first corner of the game. And you'd say Arsenal will struggle with the likes of Veltman and Duncan in the defence of Brighton. Very physical, very tall men at that.
Some players now making their runs into the box as the delivery goes in. It's slapped down by Sanchez. Needed further help on its way, which was there from a teammate. Clear just shy of the halfway line, where Arsenal will begin again now with Odegaard. Lovely bending ball into the box. Go the heads and Cucurella wins it. Cleared as far as McAllister, who's caught there as he played it downfield. So Brighton will have themselves the free kick, and they managed to survive what was a bit of an awkward moment.
Yeah, I'll say Brighton should defend it quite easily. I think it's Cucurella who lets his man go, and it was Martinelli who's up there with one of the smaller players. I don't think he actually hit Martinelli. I'm just watching the replay. They've got a slight touch of Danny Welbeck, but Sanchez did make a bit of a slap and a faff of it. So mark your cards, Arsenal fans and players, to say put the ball into the box and see what we can do. But it's very old school English football. I don't know about how modern foreign football think of it. Like we get really excited for corners, and you go on the continent, it's like, it's just how we restart the game, isn't it? Yeah, it's very Sunday Park kind of football. It's drop one, let's test it around again, isn't it?
Yeah, we've found the weakness, let's try and expose it. Elsewhere in the Premier League, by the way, 3 other 3 p.m. kickoffs today. Southampton against Chelsea, Watford against Leeds. We'll keep you in touch with all of the scores over the course of the afternoon. If you missed it earlier on this service, Everton picked up a crucial 1-0 win over Manchester United. Anthony Gordon's deflected effort, the difference between the two sides. Today's late game is Aston Villa against Tottenham, also available for you here on the service. There has been a goal in one of the 3 p.m. games. The first of the afternoon, it's Marcus Alonso who has put Chelsea ahead at St Mary's against Southampton. So we have a free kick for Brighton, 7.5 minutes played. Arsenal 0, Brighton 0. Independent of Tube Studio commentary. It's Wepu who's getting himself back up to his feet, and the free kick taken short out to the right hand side with Danny Welbeck. Falls back away from the byline. The former Arsenal man, no doubt, will want to have his say on the game today. comes in from that right-hand side. Eventually he's charged down, and Brighton try and squeeze to put the press on. In the process, they get it added to touch. A throw. So 8 minutes gone with the sun shining at the Emirates, and it's Granit Xhaka with the ball in hand. And doesn't often find himself on throwing duties, but at left back today, responsibility does fall to him, and he's dealt with it reasonably well. As I say, that actually long cross-field ball is overhit, so it'll be a throw on the opposite side to Brighton. Xhaka has to apologise. Brighton have themselves on the front foot once again. This throw down the left, which Marc Cucurella has taken. Lokonga comes across and strongly puts the ball back into touch. Brighton looking to build from this advanced area of the field. Cucurella gesturing, asking for runs to be made, someone to show themselves. Eventually he does spot someone just on the edge of the box in McAllister. There's too many Arsenal bodies back there, and they deal with it comfortably. Odegaard now trying to get an awkward bouncing ball down, and he does out to Xhaka. Arsenal will settle down, but he's been a little bit frantic, hasn't it? I think opening stages, it's almost 10 minutes in, and really put your finger on who's been on top yet.
No goalkeepers really. See, Ramsdale, he's had absolutely nothing to do. I don't think we've even mentioned him apart from you when you've read the teams out. Sanchez, he had that bit of a flap from a corner, which you've seen worse flaps really, but it's both teams who are just lacking total confidence going forward. Brighton as a team, as a whole, they lack confidence going forward. It's something like they've 7. I think they've scored 1 goal in the last 5, and that was from dunks against Newcastle. But Lacazette, who's on the ball now, he tries to turn away, and he's just lost the ball and he's isolated. He hasn't scored an open play in 15 or 16 games, so you kind of think once the summer comes, both of these teams are in the market for a striker. But look at Brighton now, and it's a heavy touch, is taking it away from this one.
Yeah, just overran it there and diving in to try and win it back, gave away the free kick in the process. So have the chance to clear their lines. David Kieran been busy so far, no major decisions or calls to make, but 1 or 2 moments he's just had to step in for. So Caicedo, who've got the players trying to win it back for Brighton. So the energy is there from the Seagulls. They're low on form, low on confidence, but with safety pretty much assured, I feel that it's a chance for them to maybe play with the shackles off and just go hunting for results and try and give their fans something to celebrate for the end of the season. There was, I think, a lot of optimism at the start of the term with the way they get going.
Yeah, they got booed at one point, didn't they, when they were 8th, and Graham Potter made a slight dig at the fans, didn't he? It seems like November, October time it was. Such has the seasons changed for Brighton, but you could say the ultimate aim for Brighton is to stay in the Premier League. They've been in now for 5-6 years going forward. So maybe you want to start getting those consistent mid-table finishes by late February, March, and then just see what happens then. Because they have fallen back into it as the ball's just ping-ponging around in the midfield as Martinelli's been brought down by McAllister, I think that is, and the far side. But I think Brighton, they want to just going forward, they need to just secure Premier League and then maybe a cup run, something to get them going again, because it's a bit there, isn't it? It's a bit bland.
Yeah, I think someone made that point earlier. When you look at the table, and there's not much between Brighton and Crystal Palace, but lots of optimism around Palace, and I think that's down to the fact they're in an FA Cup semi-final. They've got that to hang on to, as well as building and looking up the table too in what's left of the season. A loose ball here from Arsenal. This time it was directed out towards Granit Xhaka, and Lokonga, the man with the camera hones in on. They just need to tighten up a little bit. Xhaka at present is penned in down by the corner flag on the Arsenal left. Attempt to play a pass out of their defensive third. It was won by Brighton. Cucurella goes across the width of the field, and then Rose just lost it briefly. So he was looking a couple of steps ahead rather than focusing on controlling the ball, but he keeps it and finds a teammate. They now reset from just on the halfway line with Yves Bissouma. To Duncan to the right-hand side of the defence for Veltman. A centres ball forward. Gabriel wins it ahead of Welbeck. But it comes down to Caicedo, and now opened up to a little bit of space for Cucurella. He's got 2 or 3 options around him. One that has burst further forwards ahead is Trossard. They can't quite get to the byline to deliver a cross. Arsenal in a nice solid shape. This is Brighton once more to recycle to Basuma. Centrally, fancies a pop. It's over the bar.
That's our first shot of the game. And Basuma just wanted to tick that box off for everybody, let everybody settle down, I guess, and go, all right, we've got one shot now, we can build from it. And let's just see if there was any options going forward. No, there wasn't absolutely no option. It's Trossard and Weepu, they sort of were standing in front of each other, very narrow attack, no sort of pass to the side where Basuma can give it into the striker and say, I'm going to channel the box and then make a run through the middle, quick, the old give and go. But say, can't blame him for having a shot, nothing. Like I say, nothing going forward, and Brighton have looked toothless themselves going forward as a team, not just in that little passage of play.
Side difficult to beat on their own patch. They have got the third best home record in the division. Bad going when you consider the two sides ahead of them are Manchester City and Liverpool, friends with the best home record. Lost in the last 5 at the Emirates in the league for the Gunners, and that defeat did come at the hands of Liverpool. Brighton have got their work cut out today, but haven't been overawed by the occasion despite their form. They've been physical, they've been energetic. They're at least nullifying what Arsenal have to offer at this present moment. We're only 14 minutes in as Arsenal go out to the left-hand side again, a loose ball. This time they do manage to prevent the throw via the stretch of Martinelli. It's back through White. Former Brighton man goes out to Odegaard, and Tierney will drop it off to his goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. He just don't seem to be able to bridge that gap at the moment between defence and midfield. Brighton closing the spaces off well enough. He's got his head up looking for any potential spaces to expose, doesn't see them, goes short to his left-hand side with Gabriel. Now infield for Lokonga, pass was short, there's a toe in Trossard, and Brighton back into their defensive third. Actually, it was McAllister who got the foot in, and you could see the frustration of him, and immediately he laid it off and wanted a return ball. Brighton were happy to retreat and slow everything down, and it's been the case for both sides. There's not been that real penetrative ball, someone who's been brave enough so far.
No, you mentioned McAllister, he's the number 10, and he's sort of playing very defensively today, so I think the problem is the players around him. Like you mentioned, got frustration there, and he didn't get the ball back. He's now slightly further forward the pitch, but yeah, both teams not looking any good. And you mentioned, we talked before about how annoyed Mustard and Nketiah be that Lacazette's not is in such a poor patch of form, or it's not even a patch now. It's just a sustained period of form. He hasn't even had a look at it, as that's an obvious handball by Saka in front of the linesman. I think Kukran went in for a fist bump with the linesman there, for giving that one so quickly. But yeah, you think in this game it just needs a spark. It needs someone to grab it by the scruff of the neck. We've only just ticked into the 17th minute, and we're still waiting for any sustained period of attacking play by either team, or just a spark or a nice little move, which we just haven't seen as of yet.
Yeah, time for that to change, hopefully, though. Graham Potter is making a couple of notes as he watches on from the touchline. We've seen areas that Brighton can improve and be better of Arsenal as this game develops. Here in the midfield area once again, where the game has been mired. Sent forward by Arsenal, that's going to be too long for Lacazette. This is through for the goalkeeper Sanchez. Chelsea have doubled their lead at Southampton. Mason Mount adding to Marcus Alonso's opener. Southampton 0, Chelsea 2. The only game at 3 p.m. with 3 of them today. He's got a goal. 0 between and Leeds. Huge clash at the bottom end of the table. It's just had his heels clipped by Danny Welbeck. Free kick for Arsenal.
There might have been, just looking at the table here, there might have been a few expectations of Arsenal fans thinking, oh, we might even get close to Chelsea today. You sort of think, oh, Chelsea, they've been on a bit of a table of their own. They're not close enough to the top 2, but they've stretched away from the chasing pack. But coming into today's game, if Chelsea lost, and they have lost 2 in a row, as everybody's made aware of, that in Arsenal win today, they could have been a couple of points or so behind them, and that would have made the race for 3rd and 4th a bit more exciting, because obviously 3rd you go straight to the groups, and 4th you've probably got to go to a nasty qualifier somewhere in Europe, which has proved difficult for Arsenal positives in recent years.
Yeah, I think everyone wants that safety net if they can get it. Those between now and the end of the season, 7 games remaining after today for Arsenal. Chelsea alike, Tottenham, the side in 5th, who played will get more than these two going into this weekend's round of fixtures. Arsenal go out towards the left-hand side with Xhaka. Really seen him get forward much yet. Xhaka, I suppose, likewise with Cedric on the other side, but Arsenal, I think, would want to get those fullbacks up and over the halfway line if possible. Just over 18 minutes played, 0-0. Cedric Suarez going back to Ben White and retreat further to Ramsdale. White too happy that he was played that ball at the team from Cedric. Maybe felt there was too much pressure on him from Welbeck and led to a sticky situation. Gabriel into Lokonga. He's over the halfway line, back though again to Gabriel, and we'll see plenty of the ball, but it's the areas that the Arsenal fans or manager would like to see it. Imagine the atmosphere at the Emirates will start to get a little bit tetchy the longer the game goes on in this sort of manner. It's Lokonga. Lays it up blindly and Welbeck sneaks in to steal the ball. It's good footwork then to get away from Xhaka and fires it into the feet of McAllister. Away from goal to try and find some space, but he's dragged Lokonga with him and the challenge was made. He does find a teammate. The cross into the box is headed away by Arsenal. Odegaard out to the right-hand side for Cedric. Saka is trying to peel away into a little bit of space, ignored though. Arsenal will turn and go back once again. Odegaard across the field to Gabriel. Now they're into Brighton territory and we've got plenty of red shirts forward. Veltman comes sliding through. He stayed down as if he was caught by Martinelli, and I think the free kick's been given.
Yeah, so Veltman comes sliding in and he wins the ball cleanly, and I think Martinelli does. I think the initial reaction when I first saw it was the camera came pan wide. There was a little something left there, so I want to have a closer look at the replay. Here we are. So it's a ball from Lokonga far. It's an easy pass, really. It's too long, a little bit ambitious. And there is a little. Martinelli has left something there. He doesn't make it. Referees, VAR hasn't been told that he needs to wait for VAR to have a little check on it. And for my eye, Martinelli did make it obvious that he was playing for the ball. He did the foot sort of came down. He didn't stamp on him like with a lot of force behind him. Just a little trot on the foot of Veltman. It wasn't like the foot was waiting. The foot was coming down onto, because who controls the ball coming down?
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sort of up and down motion. Yeah, is a little bit strange. A naughty one, but he has got away with it. Brighton got themselves into Arsenal territory now in taking that free kick, and Trossard, it's a lovely ball in field that finds Welbeck, was left by McAllister, comes back out wide for Cucurella, now finding Caicedo to go right, but options were closed off, so Cucurella is an open man again, but his delivery is headed down, and then a slice shot from Caicedo. So now we're going to test Ramsdale. Obviously Basuma puts into touch. Goals in the other games now. Leeds United have gone ahead at Watford. Rafinha breaking the deadlock. A big afternoon for the Whites. Chelsea are romping to victory. Even Timo Werner scored. It's Chelsea 3-0 up at Southampton. But that was better from Brighton. The first time we've seen a team really stitch together.
I was about to say, is that the best passage of play we've seen? It was a little bit, it semi-stalled a little bit, but then it went back to Cucurella, who put not a great ball in, but it was it was the right idea, just poor execution from Cucurella. Maybe being super critical, just whip it into that corridor and don't just try a little floaty, half-assed kind of thing, just sort of in the area. It's just sort of like playing it safe, really, wasn't it? You don't really want to make the defenders turn, face the goal as Sanchez is dancing with the devil, that is Lacazette, but he's got the ball away. Eventually, but yeah, that was good from Brighton. They played with a bit of intensity to sort of shift up a gear or two there, and hopefully that will continue because we've waited long enough for it.
Back with goalkeeper Sanchez. The few players that's going to be in the shade in this first half. A frustrating afternoon for him so far. As Smith Rowe turns on the ball, lays it off to Odegaard, the real creative figure in this Arsenal side. He's been able to settle in and pull those strings just yet. Back on the halfway line again, Lokonga. Puts the ball out to Xhaka, which he'll just have to drop a couple of yards to pick up. Back through to Lokonga. He's going to go long this time, looking for the run of Saka, but his sights are all wrong today, it would seem. Lokonga has been able to execute those passes well enough. You can see Mikel Arteta now striding out to the touchline, arms folded, and he's looking a little bit angered by maybe what he's seen. Furrowed brow as he starts to some comments down the line to one or two of his players. Back in play, the throw-in taken, it's over the halfway line, and Welbeck trying to hold it up. There's 2 or 3 in and around him. He's back out off the field again. So a scrappy opening period to this game. Not a great deal to get excited about, but hopefully things can only get better. It's Arsenal 0 at Brighton 0, and Max will take you to half-time.
Thank you, Bobby. Good afternoon, everybody. We're still waiting for that spark. Still waiting for any individual on the pitch to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and see if they can create something. Here is Martinelli. He's got the potential and the skills to do it. He's run to the byline, puts the ball back across goal. Saka and Smith Rowe getting each way of each other. Saka manages to carry on, but his shot is blocked and it's gone out for a corner. And that's just the way the game's gone, really, hasn't it? Just fine work from Martinelli, and then just maybe too eager, knowing that I could make myself the hero here, and just got in the way of each other. Yeah, and Smith Rowe, I think he hears the shout from Saka and he seems to try and jump over it, but he doesn't really get himself out of the way well enough. And then Saka's got to take the touch and try and find a different angle to get the shot away. They've got the corner, but it could have been much better. Yeah, second corner of the game on the far side, and will be taken by Cedric, and the corner flag is just about flapping in the wind down at the Emirates. So ball comes in now, doesn't get past the first man, which is Basuma, and it's headed away, and he's mistake. Odegaard will pick the ball up and give it back to Lokonga, who assesses the field above him, looks like the quarterback, and he's played it to the right hand side for Gabriel, and Gabriel's gone down with the challenge from Cucurella. So this is a good free kick here for Arsenal, just inside the left wing, but they're taking it quickly. Lacazette on the right hand side puts the ball in, and it may have been pulled back. I don't know if he was offside from the initial free kick, or referee David Coote has said no, you can't take it. Yeah, possibly. Looks to be the latter.
Or something. Yeah, it doesn't look as though they're going to be penalised for it. They'll get a second bite of the cherry. Huge amount in it, to be honest. Dives through, doesn't he?
Is he guilty of wanting it too much?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, the Brighton fans will be happy with him though.
Yeah, especially you don't want to cynical say the centre half shouldn't be falling over like that, especially like the little left wing back of Cucurella, which he is. He's now gone to mark Xhaka on the far side. We've got Cedric and Saka over this. Odegaard is the short option. Referee's whistle is blown. Taken quickly, short for Xhaka to put the ball into the back post, and it's a header there by Gabriel, and it's just wide. A few Arsenal fans will have been celebrating for sure, because it did look like it was in the way. It hit the post, and I guess it hit that supporting net structure and trickled around the back of the net, but closest we've come.
It's a great ball from Saka, right into a dangerous area, far post, where you know your big target men are going to be lurking, and Gabriel just stretching there. I think the only criticism is maybe there could have been a little bit taken off it, but it was still into a dangerous area. Gabriel was having to try and stretch his body to create the angle. On another day he maybe does find the back of the net, but yeah, Arsenal's best chance by far.
Yeah, 26 minutes in, and there we are. There's the first real threat either side has taken today, as Brighton recovered the ball in the left back position, and they're going to have to go a long way, but Basuma's lost out the ball, and it will be a throw-in just in front of Graham Potter. Well, I say just in front of Graham Potter. Cedric has taken it on himself to steal more than a couple of yards, but that throw-in has come to off. Good work from Trossard to turn away from there, to hand it over to Caicedo, and he's won a free kick under a foul of Cedric. Brighton surely will simply clear their lines. No goals in the Premier League from their last update from Bobby a few moments ago, so it is still Southampton 0, Chelsea 3 and Watford 0, Leeds 1, as Brighton take the free kick long, very Brighton like, and they've won a free kick and got throw-in, high up on the left hand side. Trossard looked to take it quickly and then thought better of it, and I assume this will be Cucurella's ball to throw in, and it will be. He's got Welbeck. Trossard, he uses Trossard. Trossard quickly gives it back to the young Spaniard. And now they're heading back towards the halfway line, and Dunk tries to say that's a rather ambitious ball, but the second ball has fallen in favour to the side of blue and white. Trossard managed to hold strong against Saka, but brought it to the right-hand side to where the sunshine is for Pascal Gross today, and that's a rather lazy ball back to Dunk, but Dunk's recovered to put the ball high up the field, and this is a good chance here for Mwepu to put the ball in. There it is, back to Trossard, open goal, and there it is, fine goal. Not an open goal, he's open in the penalty area to stroke it home. And Brighton, they may have the worst conversion rate in the league, but I think that's their second shot today, and they've put it in the net, 50%.
Yeah, really good goal as well in the end when that pass goes out to the right-hand side. The linesman, the referee's assistant, had his flag down by his side to indicate that there was no offside and Arsenal need to be getting on with this and trying to play. He's clearly on, times it perfectly, and then it's a lovely cutback ball. Once you see the move starting to build, there were 4 Brighton players making runs, 3 into the box, but Trossard's the one who just hangs off a little bit when everyone else is going to the 6-yard box. He waits for that space to open up, and then it's a really sweet strike. He's still got a lot to do with it once it arrives. Stay over the top of it, pick your corner, and he does that really well with power. Brighton have the lead.
5th goal of the season for the Belgian. He just uses that nous, it's in that striker's nous, just not to follow everybody into the 6-yard box. Holds back, and there's no Arsenal player in sight. They want bad communication from the midfield to tracking the runner, and just strokes it home nice and easily. You couldn't really say Ramsdale had a chance with that one. It was pretty much on the penalty spot, first time finish. And Arsenal, a few minutes ago, they thought they had the ball in the back of themselves with that header from Gabriel, which just hit the side netting, and they find themselves 1-0 down with 15 minutes to go to the break. And how important do you reckon that goal will be in the context of Arsenal's season?
It could be absolutely massive. You highlighted it earlier about the fact that there's not been much to pick between Arsenal and Brighton in their ongoing Premier League saga. The two sides have been very well matched, and Brighton seem to be a bit of a bogey side for them. So the nose is in front now. There's every feeling that they could take something from this game, whether it's a point, whether it's all 3. When you look at how tight it is in that top 4 race, Tottenham back into the top 4 as it stands. Arsenal sort of moved there briefly with the point we were playing at 0-0. They've got to make these types of games really count, especially on home soil.
Absolutely, as the ball goes over to the far side. That's Brighton's first goal since early March against Newcastle. The ball's in the box, it's been bambling around, but Brighton eventually get it clear, and they brought everybody back for that set piece that Lokonga will just simply help it back to Ramsdale. And again, he's assessing the forward playing. Brighton aren't sitting back, they're not afraid to sit back. As we know, Brighton, they're a side that likes to play football, and they've come forward and applied a high press, and it has worked out for them. There's a spat between Gabriel and the players upfield, as he's saying there was no option there for me, and he's simply just had to put the ball out of play. Maybe he was forced to, as Brighton take the throw now on the right hand side and lose out the ball from that side for that time, and it's clear, but Mwepu will try to bring the ball under his control, and there's a player gone down in the air there. Danny Welbeck can sort of say that might have been given in rugby, taken out in the air, but referee David Coote says absolutely not, play on. It's now with Ben White in the Arsenal defence. Slowly approaching the halfway line are the Gunners, with Cedric the right back, and again Brighton are playing that high press with Trossard, and he's blocked the ball down the line, and he's forced Arsenal a little bit further back than they needed to be, and with a throw-in. Welbeck still protesting that decision with referee David Coote, who's kept his cards in his pockets so far in the opening half an hour. And to be fair, there's been no real nasty challenges. You mentioned was that one with Martinelli, but you say that's VAR sort of passing that one go, but Xhaka with a couple of step overs and running up from the middle of the field, but Mwepu remains strong and now hands it off to Caicedo, but he went for the give and go but with his teammate, loses out the ball. Saka's still down on the floor, so I think that's more of a winded sort of situation. He's slowly getting to his back feet now. Meanwhile, Smith Rowe has been brought down by Caicedo, and Arsenal have a free kick, a good position to set the blocks for a good ball into the box here. Just just over 13 minutes ago, Graham Potter sits down rather relaxed. As soon as I say that, he's seen something, he's up and he's sprinting to the edge of the box for instruction, and the ball comes into us. Ball's taken, has gone wide to Cedric, who now puts the ball into the box. He's a little bit behind everybody, so everybody's readjusting. Brighton clear, not fantastic from the Arsenal right back with Lukonga, helps it off to Xhaka, who tries that famous long strike of his, and that's blocked by the first man, but it rebounds to the team in red. Xhaka will have another go, looks up, assesses the box, feels like there's nothing on. You've got Duncan Veltman in there, so your cross has got to be a very good one to avoid those two players. They've come now to the right hand side, keeping the ball on the deck. Xhaka drops onto the left, good ball into the box for Lacazette to try rebound in his favour, but Cucurella wins that ball and cuts it out, and then it's a combination of Odegaard and Lacazette bring down Trossard, and Brighton will clear their lines. And it's ever when a footballer's facing his own penalty area with the ball, he's going to go down with any slight piece of contact, isn't he, and then win the free kick and clear the lines.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, does it? They're experienced enough nowadays to know what sort of areas they're going to get the benefit of the doubt from referees. It's a huge period this for Arsenal now, isn't it, though? As you mentioned, just under 15 minutes left to go. Need to try and find a response before the break to try and get that momentum swinging back on their side, or just momentum on their side for the first time really in the match. Not had any of it, and not been able to really put Brighton on the back foot as often as they would have liked.
Brighton on the front foot now with a Weeper, who helps it over to Gross to put the ball into the box, and that's deflected behind the Callister. Callister, it's fallen in Saka's favour, who's gone down, and it looks like we will have our first yellow card, and it will be for Bissouma, who just pretty much took out Saka, who was on one of those famous runs from deep, and took that one for the team, didn't he, really? Simple enough decision for the referee, but he's absolutely right going down on St Mary's. Chelsea lost to Brentford, lost to Real Madrid, and sort of saying, what kind of Chelsea side are we going to see today? And we're going to see one that's got a tooth and nails out, and they are 4-0 up inside half an hour. Kai Havertz with the fourth goal there. First one from Marcus Alonso, then Mason Mount, Timo Werner, and now Kai Havertz. Rasmus Tuchel probably has one of his most difficult half-time team talks. Actually, no, there's been a couple of 9-0 down there, so he's well versed in this sort of situation, maybe. As are the Southampton fans, as that free kick is taken short by Arsenal, and just slowly bringing it to the halfway line now. Saka has it on the right, and then he's collected by Cucurella, and again that's a yellow card. Cucurella quickly apologises to the referee and says, look, that was my first one, please don't book me, that's my first one. And I think he's on his final warning there, isn't he? He's very agreeable, thumbs up, nodding his head is the young Spaniard. And Arteta sort of feels like it should have been in the referee's notebook. You just see the replay. No intention of getting the ball there whatsoever. But Arsenal again taking the free kick short, not wanting to lump it into the box. Very lacking that sort of physical presence, aren't they, Arsenal? There's Lacazette has gone hiding, really. Look how deep he is. He's come searching for the ball. And that's what you say as a striker, don't come looking for it, we'll get you the ball, even if you're in such bad form, just make sure you're in the right place. Here he is now by the right corner, flagging again, that's poor. He didn't look up as he cut the ball back into the box, and Brighton will, they've half cleared their lines, still yet to completely clear their lines, but they have a throw in now to be able to do that. And he's just Lacazette, to speak about a man who, you say a man who can't do no wrong, he can't do anything right.
Yeah, just looking at him then, he just looks so fresh, not a bead of sweat on him. It's as though he's just stepped out onto the pitch to start the game. We're only 10 minutes away from half-time, and he's not been involved at all, has he? He's not had a sight at goal. Opportunity there, right wide up.
It's fallen to Smith Rowe here, tight angle, shoots on goal, and it's blocked. Good recovery from the Brighton defence. Skipper Dunk there, sliding in with Bissouma, and that's the problem sometimes when you're trying to play it out from the back. Let's see what's happened here, but it's all just happened in a matter of instance, isn't it?
Yeah, architected their own downfall, Brighton. They had the chance to clear with the interception, but it all got caught under the feet, and Smith Rowe then able to turn on it, breaking towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Good last-ditch defending from Dunk to block it behind, but yeah, Arsenal need to try and make that press a little bit firmer.
corner comes in now towards the back post where Gabriel is headed up rather than away, and there's a bit of a head tennis going here and there. Appeals for handball by a couple of Arsenal players. VAR will no doubt have a look at that. David Koo, very difficult for him to see from where he was. And so Arsenal will carry on with the ball. Saka looking for Lacazette, cut out by Cucurella. He's put his head down to run forward a little bit, and then he's taken out by Smith Rowe. And we'll have a look at a replay of that handball appeal as the Arsenal players go over to hound the referee. And we see it looks like David Koo's going to put an Arsenal player in the book now. And that challenge on Cucurella, and that was Martin Odegaard, who waves off the book in there, the Norwegian. So we just see that he played the foul. What we want to see is that handball appeal, which we've had no indication that VAR are checking it. But here's the replay.
Yeah, so it loops into the box, doesn't it, Wepu?
Oh, it's nothing in there at all. If anything, it's a handball by Lacazette.
Yeah, absolutely no case to answer to. As a briefest replay you'll see, and I think that's exactly why.
The problem is that the Arsenal players got confused because both players are wearing white Under Armour, aren't they? White underlayers, which you would have thought would have been against some sort of Premier League rule.
Yeah, so many of them.
Something like sock colours and something and all that. Hoo-ha, but Brighton just being comfortable. This is the most comfortable we've seen on the ball, really. They're dropping deep with the ball, crisp passes to each other into the feet, nice and safe, nothing risky. As we see in the last 10 minutes, they've only had 30% of the ball. Trossard now tries an ambitious ball from Welbeck to Chase, who may have clipped the ankles of Gabriel, who went down. Referee says no, but it went all the way through to Ramsdale anyway, so nothing to do. It's now with Congo, who's got through two Brighton players over the halfway line. They're saying he's got clipped, and the yellow cards are coming out now. That's the second one in quick succession for Pascal Gross.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, when the referee goes early with his cards. You often find, in the game with plenty of them. More often than not now we see them wait, if they can, until the second half to start dishing them out. But it has been that type of scrappy game, hasn't it? We said it from the outset, players getting stuck in. There's been a lot of fight there today. It's just the quality that's lacked.
Yeah, absolutely. We are lacking a couple of qualities. Arsenal again simply give the ball away, and Weepu, who's played well, he's stepped up well from his defensive position, and now he's running down the right hand side. He's only got Welbeck in front of him, so he goes for an ambitious lob for Ramsdale. And Bobby, have you got an explanation for that?
I mean, you can't knock the confidence of the lad, that's one thing. He does really well, doesn't he? I think picking it up in his own half there, he beats the challenge of Emile Smith-Rowe, and then clearly his adrenaline's got the better of him. Welbeck, I don't think did him too many favours as he ran away there trying to peel off. I think he needed to offer a bit of support to try and build closer, and he just seemed lost for ideas. Spotted Ramsdale was off his line, but the execution is absolutely terrible over the bar and behind. It looks as though Smith-Rowe might have done himself a bit of an injury here, trying to bring down Wepu in that last incident, unless it was something that had been carried previously. But he did make sort of a lunge towards Wepu, didn't catch the man fully, and ended up going down himself. So there's movement on the Arsenal bench. Smith-Rowe receiving treatment, and that could be the end of his afternoon.
They sort of say that it looks like Pepe is maybe the most natural switch, maybe. But I think I saw Tavares going for warm-up, and then Nketiah was taking his jacket off also. Maybe he's thinking I might have a chance of getting on in the second half. I might just do a quick early warm-up before the half-time break, and then I can get in for the tactical talk as well. Because Lacazette's the mentioned that no bead of sweat on it. To be fair, he's playing in the shaded end, so fair enough. We've got to give him some doubt there, but he's playing in the right wing-back position at the moment. There's no idea what his general game plan is. As Gabriel goes to the left wing-back position for Xhaka to chase, and as he won a free-kick in competition with Veltman, he's down holding his face and his thigh, so it's a double whammy. Xhaka will just have a look at the replay. It's Martinelli who's gone down, sorry. I mean, it's very slight contact with the face. It's not enough to have a roll or two. He's been helped up to his feet now. I think the referee's just saying play on. We're going to have the throw-in, and it will be a Brighton throw-in for Veltman. do take as we have just over 2.5 minutes of normal time of the 45. I don't think there'll be much added on. Only the goal from Trossard has been the only stoppage of the game so far. So the injury, Smith Rowe, wasn't one of those ones where he's down on the floor for a long while, so may only be 1 minute added on by the officials down at the Emirates as Duncan picks up a loose ball at the back and clears that up and just simply puts his hook room for Welbeck to bring down uncontested. He should have really done better there. The former England internationals lost on the ball, but for Arsenal again lacking quality. It's with Trossard now. Welbeck edge of the box. Odegaard just gets in and gets a turnover, but Arsenal can't really clear it. And Weepu strikes on goal. And how did it end up over there? Drifting past the bottom left corner. Ramsdale is as confused as us. Has Arsenal had maybe 3 or 4 opportunities to clear their lines, and it just pops out of a bit of a scrappy situation, and Weepu duly obliges with that strike.
Yeah, he doesn't hit it cleanly. I'm not sure if it was his intention to strike it in the manner that he did, but he kind of scuffed off the outside of the boot. Left Ramsdale rooted to the spot and wasn't going to be able to make the save as the first time today. Weepu was been a little bit off the target with his efforts, but a warning really for the Gunners. If they fall 2-0 down here, struggle to find a route back into it on the basis of what we've seen from them. Obviously, they could massively improve in the second half, but give themselves a mountain to climb.
Absolutely. The only real chance that Arsenal have shown us today is from that Gabriel header from a set piece nearly 20 minutes ago, is that Brighton have been finishing the half the stronger. So the first half was just a draw in terms of ambition and football creativity, but since then Brighton have looked the better of the two sides as Trossard with a couple of tricks and flicks wins are thrown in. Surely as we're in the last minute of normal time, they're just going through the motions here, Brighton wanting to look after the ball and secure that half-time lead at the Emirates. Only won here once before, and that was back in 2019 as the ball into the box is over everybody, and Kroos will try to keep it in on the sunny side of the Emirates, but Kroos' cross has gone out for a throw-in. Arsenal build from about the Conga. Gabriel, Ben White, and then Arsenal D comes forward now with a bit of intent. Is the Englishman forward into Lacazette. Good ball from Lacazette to help it off to Lokonga. This is foundations of a good move for Arsenal. Now with Martinelli as we tick into added time on the edge of the penalty, left-hand side. Only got Veltman to beat, and he's done too much, I'll say that, but he's got himself out of it. He's got to find a way of ball into the box now. He's had the ball himself for a good amount of time. Now it comes into the box, back post for Lacazette. It's a good header from Cucurella to put it behind. And good build-up play from Arsenal there. Credit due where credit is due.
Yeah, it was nice and flowing, wasn't it? Up to a point, as you mentioned, Martinelli seemed to slow it down. He got himself out of a tight space, then went back into it, and then got out again. And eventually the cross came, which was the key thing. Lacazette lurking far post, and Cucurella there to deal with it behind for the corner.
Can Arsenal score here? It'll be vital. 2 minutes of added time at the Emirates. Saka over this one, right hand side, left footed, swinging in towards the near post, headed up, not away, headed back across goal for Martinelli. There it is. The Arsenal have got themselves level, and it's extremely vital in the context of their season. They've been the second best team in the later stages of this half, and Martin's poor defensive work from Brighton. They had a couple of chances to clear and they were unable to do so.
Yeah, Martinelli delighted to get himself on the score sheet, and as you say, Brighton only have themselves to look at here. We highlighted it earlier in the game that Sanchez had looked a little bit ropey under a high ball. This time it swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, in fact in the middle of the 6-yard box, glanced on by Martinelli initially. It's headed back across goal. We're just wondering now if Martinelli there is coming back from an offside position to meet that one, or does the ball go backwards, and it's not going to matter too much. But there's definitely a hint of offside there. They're going to have to take a look at this. VAR is inspecting it, so Arsenal fans are going to have to wait with bated breath.
Yeah, just go back to goalkeeper by Sanchez. He's jumped into the side net and he's thrown that ball across the back post, but the first ball he doesn't know whether to stay with the man or go punch that first ball. But we look at the ball here, there's Cucurella who's might be playing him on, because the camera from this ambulance has gone.
It's even if the header comes from Gabriel or whether it comes off the head of the defender. I think that's what we're looking at here. Yeah, it is Gabriel.
It's gone off the defender into Gabriel's head. So move on to the next phase of play, please, director. So if we just take sort of the cricketing sort of vocabulary into this, but we're still looking at it. Me and Bobby concluded that he's coming off Gabriel's head last. Now Martinelli, he's coming from the goal line, isn't he? So he's as close, he's as forward as he can possibly be, maybe bar 6 inches, if that. And then there's Cucurella, who's on the near post, who's could be playing him on here, but it could be down to a knee or a shin pad here.
Yeah, we can see a boot there, and I think it's Cucurella's boot. There looks to be a white one, which might be Sanchez's actually. So either way, he's being played on there, I think. So this should stand for me. It's difficult to tell. Yeah, with the VAR team when they've got to make a call like this one when there's so many factors to it. They're still looking to just finally confirm who the ball comes off, Gabriel or the defender Feldman, but I think we've concluded that it comes off Gabriel.
I think that's Sanchez. Cucurella's got red boots on.
Oh, it is Sanchez, yeah.
Sanchez has got sort of light bluey boots on, so I think it may be leading to an offside decision here. For me, I think this is offside. We're still looking at whether it's come off Veltman or Gabriel. To be honest, they might just leave it as a goal because he doesn't want to make a decision of who's to come off last.
Honestly, it's such a tough one to call here. We're well over the 2 minutes we're having. Yeah, we're seeing the boot there. It is Sanchez's boot, a white one. And now we're looking at all sorts of different angles that really aren't helping the situation whatsoever. This is the final moment of the first half. We said it was crucial for Arsenal really to try and respond before the break if they could, try and get in at the break at least back on level pegging and see what they could build from then. They thought they'd done it, but we still don't know.
Still don't know. So maybe this calls now for this sort of the rule of, right, if you can't figure out and say let's 90 seconds, the referee's initial decision stands. But we're waiting to maybe entering our 5th minute of this sort of decision by the 4th official and co. But here come the lines, and it's offside. Gabriel Martinelli will not have his 6th goal of the Premier League season, and Brighton remain 1-0 ahead. And we would agree with that decision.
Yeah, I think so. We could see the boot was there, but it looked to be the goalkeeper's, so he's in an offside position. There were no defenders back there that were playing him on. So I think it's the right call in the end. It's fine margins, but that's that, and the whistle has gone for half-time, so yeah, Arsenal won't have anything to show.
It's half-time at the Emirates, 1-0 down to Brighton, also half-time everywhere else also.
Time it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So at half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So at half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So at half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner. But he was Martinelli. Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half where they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal really struggled to create. There was some drama at the end of the first half when they did have the ball in the back of the net by the head of Gabriel Martinelli. It was from a corner, but he was adjudged to have been offside after a lengthy VAR review. So half-time, it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. At half-time, it is Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. The only goal of the first 45 minutes coming in the 28th minute when Leandro Trossard latched onto a low ball into the box and struck firmly beyond back here for the second half of this clash. Arsenal with work to do as they trail by 1-0 at home against Brighton. Leandro Trossard with the only goal of the first half. There was an incident at the end of the first period when Gabriel Martinelli put it in the back of the net for the Gunners. After a lengthy VAR check, it was deemed that he was coming back in an offside position to meet the ball. That really the only chance that Arsenal carved out, or good chance. They struggled in the majority of the 45. Gabriel had a header after a Saka cross, but in terms of open play, didn't manage to pick apart Brighton.
No, they didn't pick Brighton apart at all. There was a couple of flurries around just inside the penalty area, but there were shots from angles from Martinelli, Veltman and Duncan. They're experienced, they're good pros, they know how to use their big bodies of theirs to block shots and whatnot. But yeah, just you mentioned that Gabriel header. Other than that, nothing worth note from Arsenal going forward whatsoever. Chelsea have got a fifth at St Mary's team of earning with Chelsea's fifth in his second of the day, so goals galore down there. But Brighton have looked good. They definitely finished the half stronger. Obviously they got their goal, but they had a couple of passages play also.
And they come with Lokonga barrelling forwards and barged over, so a free kick for Arsenal. Caicedo tries to appeal that he'd done nothing wrong there, but David Cooper felt there was enough in that to nudge the Arsenal man off balance. And it's like Alexandre Lacazette is trying to make the case that the referee is selling his side a little bit short where he's given the free kick. The challenge was made. There's nothing in that, is there, as we look back at the replays? There's a few legs dangled out, but none of them seem to make contact.
No, he's gone in for sold the referee one there. He's running into a space occupied by three Brighton players, all converging on him. He's thinking, I'm going to get hit here, so I might as well just start for it, or I can sell it, and I'm going to get attacked. He does, he succeeds. Good Klinsmann impression as well. And it's very. Could you argue that it's too central?
Possibly, yeah. There's a few candidates over the top of it. Lacazette is one there, but if you just look at a leading contender, there's Odegaard, Saka and Cedric. Saka seems to have taken a step away as well. Brighton setting up the wall, which
big wall as well.
Yeah, is very tall. There's a three-man Arsenal wall just ahead of that as well, but there's four in the Brighton wall, one behind it. Sanchez has decided that he's going to take up house on the left-hand side of his goal, the right as we look at it. We'll see just how this one is dispatched. It's into the wall, it's not well taken, but they will get a corner. In fact, it might have come off the Arsenal wall, so it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, Lacazette just turned to Cedric and turned with his arms open. Like, what the hell were you doing? That wasn't the plan. And yeah, he's thumped it straight into his own teammate. So,
see the crowd of bodies though, and it doesn't get beyond them. Martinelli comes back in and he was caught there as he claimed the ball. He hops away as he lays it off into Lokonga. Arsenal don't want to put the ball into touch, and understandably so. They're keen to just get on and press forwards if they can. Lacazette lays back to Lokonga, who opens it up to the right now with Smith Rowe. The 10 popping up all over the pitch as he goes infield to Xhaka, and now Cedric, another crossing chance towards the near post, and Brighton are having to cling on.
Absolutely, Brighton are very much under the pump, all hands on deck, and then Eddie Nketiah is receiving his last-minute frantic instructions from Arteta. You assume it will be a straight swap with Lacazette.
He goes infield to Xhaka, but now Cedric, another crossing chance towards the near post.
There is a high potential there in the absolutely Brighton in favour.
It's the corner here to the 6-yard box, glanced on and then cleared away by Brighton. They look really nervous under those deliveries into the box, and maybe only a matter of time until Arsenal make them pay. Ramsdale just clip one forwards to Xhaka. Still plenty of red shirts forward in this attack. Out left-hand side now for Smith Rowe. Will be looking to deliver the cross. Goes towards the penalty spot, headed out by Caicedo as far as Lokonga. And Arsenal have got Brighton exactly where they want them, but they need to make all this pressure pay. Smith Rowe again. He's got Veltman backing up as he comes down the left. Infield to Xhaka. He has to turn away with players breathing down his neck, and he's switched to the right-hand side. Different angle of approach now with Saka. The overlap, he'll have Cedric, but likes to come infield instead. And Xhaka, he has a couple to his left. One is Smith Rowe, the other is peeled away down the line in Martinelli. That's great defensive work by Caicedo. Wins the wins the ball and carries clear. Leapfrogs one challenge. Goes infield to Welbeck and opened up nicely to the left now, where there's a little bit more space with Trossard. He's waiting for that overlap from Cucurella and now uses it. Tempting cross, and Brighton have the corner.
That was fine work from Brighton. You mentioned that they've been under the cosh for so long, and the fact that they've seen that, weathered that storm, got out of it, it's kind of like a moral victory in itself, and they've used that enthusiasm, that confidence, and good work from him, who put it through the legs of Saka, then hurdled another player, you say, and with 2 or 3 passes, Cucurella's on the edge of the penalty box, such as the enthusiasm to get forward, the energy and the quality of the passing from the away team today.
Struggle to defend corners, Brighton, but this is the first one they've had as an attacking side, and lots of height to aim for if the delivery is good. Pushing and shoving in the box, but the referee's happy for it to go in, and Lacazette, I think, is the man who's glanced at. It's certainly come off ahead and gone behind, and it will be another corner.
Yeah, Lacazette to my eye as well, and the camera has gone straight to him. He's the man operating that front post zone. He gets something on it, but maybe not enough. Then Arsenal fans would have been comfortable with it. Almost found its way to that far bottom corner. And, fortunately, they've got a corner in because it wasn't a great ball in all honesty. So let's see if Brighton can be better this time.
Yeah, other side that they'll deliver from. David Kieran, having spotted the pushing and shoving last time, has had a word in the ear of several players. Arsenal going for the zonal marking, it would seem, with 4 players across the edge of their 6-yard box. Deliveries towards the penalty spot. The header on target was saved.
Yeah, good header from Duncan. It's one of those slow motion sort of floaty ones to that top left hand corner where kind of looks like, say, slowly drifting in. You're thinking, oh no, the keeper's not going to get there, but it was well grabbed by Ramsdale. He's got it forward quickly for Saka to run at Cucurella and McAllister, who's got round both of them in field. Back to Gabriel. There's all of the options, but it cuts off.
Gabriel well over the halfway line. Both Ben White and Gabriel have crept further and further forwards as this second half has gone on, trying to compress that play as much as possible. Another defender forward. Cedric now finds Odegaard. His shot is blocked away by Cucurella. Knocking on that door, Arsenal. Just need to find the chances to test Sanchez. We're going to get a substitution before this corner is taken. Arsenal electing to make a change before they swing the ball in, and it's going to be Smith Rowe to go off here. Maybe Mikel Arteta feeling he hasn't quite had the impact that he'd like today. It's going to be Eddie Nketiah come on in his place. A big chance this for Nketiah.
He also had that knock before half time, so maybe he's gone test the waters with it. He did seem to have a little bit of a hobble when he was jogging off, but it did seem comfortable, so maybe it's for that reason.
Odegaard delivers the corner, glanced on near post, hooked away, shot comes back in over the bar from Bukayo Saka. He looks up to the sky in frustration, I think, knowing that he could have done much better.
Yeah, I think he changed his mind. It slowly trickled out to him with good pace, and I think first of all I'm thinking I'm going to just absolutely put my foot through it, and then the last second he sort of leans back and thinks, oh no, I'm going to open my foot and try and place it in a corner, leaning back, indecision, straight over the bar, not even close.
Executed, a man who possesses a huge amount of quality. Arteta has turned to his bench. Nketiah, a man he believes can play a role in this game, the small youngster, ex-Arsenal man now who's on the ball in Welbeck, goes out to the right-hand side, crossing chance here for Gross. Back to Mwepu. His delivery is cleared by Arsenal in the first instance. Caicedo's shot is then blocked. Odegaard will toe poke it away to no one in particular. Cucurella can go and claim ownership of it on the left-hand side. Just over 63 minutes played. Arsenal 0, Brighton 1. And Trossard scoring the only goal of the game so far in the first half. Arsenal undoubtedly improved in this second period, but still room for further improvement from the Gunners' side, who so tough to beat on their own patch, but Brighton so far are going to be taking all 3 points away from North London. There's no attempt to flick it down the line. I think coming back from an offside position though, Trossard, that'll be a free kick, and we're going to see Tariq Lamptey come on, another player who can provide lots of energy for Brighton.
Oh, absolutely. I like watching Tariq Lamptey play. I think he would have been licking his lips at the opportunity if he was on in the first half to run at Granit Xhaka in that left-back position. We know Janek is not normally a left-back, normally a midfielder, and you think if you just get under his skin, give him a bit of poke the bear kind of stuff, and with a bit of frustration and not being able to deal with Lamptey because he's given plenty of fullbacks a headache with see it being on the end of a heavy challenge, but that heavy challenge may have led to a yellow card and just sort of got a bit of caution in him. But now into the middle of the park, so Xhaka and Lamptey shouldn't really see eye to eye in this game for the next 20-25 minutes.
Did appear there was going to be a double change. Solly March, I think, was the other that was down there for Brighton. We'll get that confirmed when the substitutions are made officially. At the moment, Arsenal are trying to come forward, but pass out to the right-hand side is deflected. Cucurella clears. She'll retrieve it on the halfway line. Again, unable to make it stick, though. Caicedo's gone down somewhat softly. He's got the free kick off Xhaka.
Yeah, it was a little bit softy. Xhaka's absolutely furious with that decision. Takes the ball with him in disgust. So here's the replay, and yeah, there's nothing in it whatsoever, really. But there we go. And that was an opportunity, surely, for important to make the changes if he wants to. No, carry on. There's a look that's gone long, looking for Trossard.
Great ball out to that left-hand side. Trossard controlled and had Cedric on his side. It's going to be a Brighton throw. So a little bit of a dispute. On the messages, no, we are going to get moving now as we still wait for that duo to be thrown on. Cucurella has it down the left, and back in towards McAllister. Turn to Cucurella, and now Caicedo. Lovely slick stuff this as they get towards the byline. Cut back, Caicedo with the shot, and it's Brighton who have got a 2-0 advantage. A thundering low strike. Arsenal 0, Brighton 2.
It's Mwepu. He's had a good game playing on the right wing back today, but he's found himself in the middle of the park, just outside the edge of the D. We see Arteta, arms crossed, shaking his head. Very difficult skill to execute. It looked like it was on the half volley. See the replay of it here. Arsenal can't get hold of it. Odegaard had a chance to clear, but he's kicked it straight against the shins of McAllister. Goes back to McAllister, and Cucurella just good work, good build-up, good flicks from Trossard. Caicedo follows the run. I think it's a little bit lucky the way it gets to him. We put in the end from that cross from Caicedo. He just sort of seems to just, oh no, he does look up, so it's a fair play to him. And he's volleyed it with the inside. He's opened up the boot. He hasn't put his laces for it. How difficult will that finish be executed? I think he could try it another 20 times and he won't get a better connection than that.
Really cute build-up play as well. That little back heel flick into Caicedo. Cut back towards the edge of the penalty area. Mwepu, the scintillating finish. So give Brighton a cushion now.
Yeah, fine goal for your first goal of the season. And Brighton 2-0 up. And it's done well. Like we mentioned earlier that they were under the cosh. They've got through, weathered that storm. I mentioned that sort of like a morale boosting sort of victory. And you can say it's a morale defeat for us, thinking, oh God, how can we break these guys down? Brighton have come forward, I think that's the second time they've come forward. They had a couple of corners and then that, and they've got their rewards from it. See, last week when they were 31 shots at goal and they've really taken the chances, so it's easy to see what Graham Potter's been working at in training. It's simple, football's a simple game, and just put the ball in the net.
Of course, yeah, that's what everyone needs to do, and they've done that today, Brighton. They've got to, with just over 20 minutes left to play. Looks as though they're not going to make that double change now. Lamptey and March are back on the bench.
Solly March has got the jacket on and Lamptey's got the bib on, so I think Lamptey's still hopeful of coming on, but I think he may have been coming on for Mwepu, and you can't take him off now. He's just scored.
Exactly, yeah, he's done the job today. We've got a break in play here with an Arsenal man, Martinelli down, feeling a bit of cramp. Basuma's doing his best to try and tend to his opponent, but looks as though he's going to be okay.
I don't think Basuma will be doing that for a little bit too.
No.
Oh no, you can wait to Europe, but yeah, just this great build-up from Brighton. We know they're a footballing side and just hasn't fallen their way this season. They've shown sparks, and this is definitely one of those sparks, isn't it? Arsenal poor against Palace on Monday night. They've been a little bit better today, but just that problem with ripping it all on Lacazette. He symbolises Arsenal going forward as he is the main man. They just haven't looked threatening. Sanchez, he's looked worrying from crosses, but I can't think where he's had to make like a save, like a proper save.
Yeah, he's been quite quiet in this game. It seems at the moment as though no one really wants the 4th place in the Premier League. Everyone seems to be doing their best to try and throw away the opportunity. Tottenham, the side in form that sit there at present, having picked up wins in each of their last 3 games, but West Ham, having been up there, have dropped off over the last few weeks. Arsenal on course here for what will be a 3rd defeat in 4 and successive losses in the league. Manchester United, who were in the race, have slipped away as well after they lost to Everton earlier on, but it's not going too bad for them. Possibly.
Today of all days, thinking dark horses.
Losing to Newcastle didn't help last night.
No, it didn't, but the sort of everybody losing today kind of goes in their favour of no ground game but no ground lost.
Yeah, the fact they've played games more than everyone else is maybe the issue for Wolves. As we have a free kick here for Arsenal in a good spot. Lacazette has gone down just before we get that free kick. I'll let you know Leeds have doubled their advantage at Watford. Rodrigo adding to Rafinha's earlier strike. So Watford 0, Leeds 2 there with 15 minutes left to go. Pretty comfortable for the West Yorkshire side. Let's see if Arsenal can get back into this one now with a free kick just on the edge of the box. I'm going to hand over to Max because we've gone well over the halfway point of this second half, swept up in everything that's been going on. But it's Arsenal 0, Brighton 2, and Max will take you to the whistle.
Well, we've got a conference of Cedric, Lacazette and Odegaard. I can't believe Cedric's been allowed in. Well, this time they put the wall behind the Brighton wall.
Probably wise.
And Cedric's been sent away. As last time he thumped it straight into his own wall. We've got Ben White, Gabriel and Martinelli trying to block Sanchez's view. Shoot, could be Odegaard. It's on their favoured left-footed side, and it will be the Norwegian, but he's slipped it into Martinelli, who was part of that wall, and Brighton suddenly swarm him in like a pack of bees. Bees aren't hands, but anyway, they've cleared the lines, and it's rather come to nothing. A swarm of bees, that's what you get. You get a pack of wolves and a swarm of bees.
Yeah, wasteful really from Arsenal. I mean, I don't know if that's something they've worked on the training ground, but it didn't. I mean, he's offside surely as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
He didn't get himself back on for me, so flag probably should have gone up. Nothing's come of it. Brighton will have the throw. I don't think they'll mind too much with that, but they're in a really good spot there. Just have a shot at goal, see if you can get yourself back into it. Wasteful.
Yeah, overthinking it, isn't it? Aren't they? It just sort of seems well for Odegaard. We know he's got the talent to just bend it round and put it into that corner, which Sanchez would have had to get across. Instead of the overthinking, you can tell by the cut of the grass at the Emirates that Martinelli was on the darker patch, and all the Brighton players were on the lighter patch. So it is back with Martinelli. He can't get past the Weepu, so he's had to come back to the Congo, who's gone in the field, and now they've switched it over to Cedric. Got space to look up and pick out a cross, pick out a man. He's gone to the back post where Nketiah is, but he won't get there. As Sanchez jumps high to claims, and he will surely just waste a few seconds as we see Nicolas Pepe receiving some instructions by one of the coaches in the dugout. The second change of Arsenal. We also see Adam Lallana. He's stripped and ready to go. Number 14, maybe just putting some experience on in the midfield just to see the ship home. As Brighton bring the ball down on the halfway line on the left-hand side, but then they lose out. Cucurella then fouls his man. Cucurella has been guilty of a few heavy challenges. He hasn't gone into the book as of yet, as he's brought down Saka. I cannot say that it's yellow and it's right, the way he just takes out the legs of the English winger. And we'll see that Martinelli is making way for Pepe. Martinelli hasn't had a great game. We've seen the tricks and flicks that we associate with him, but he hasn't created anything. And once at one moment, he was actually stalling an Arsenal attack with all these tricks and flicks and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. He played his role a little bit, didn't he, at times, but probably hasn't been at his very best today. Brighton going to make a change as well.
Yeah, Basuna making way for Lallana. Basuna on a yellow card, so maybe just an insurance policy in that sense, and then just fresh legs middle of the park. Lallana, been there, seen it all with Liverpool, hasn't he? And just wanted to get game time, get some games under his belt with Brighton. Just to restart his career as he enters the latter stages of it. And surely he's saying, like I said, just a bit of experience, a calm head, and just guide the Seagulls home with just over 15 minutes to go. Arsenal, so we've got it all to do. They're 2-0 down. Haven't lost to their 14 home games this season in the Premier League. Haven't lost to a side below them. But this could be the first as it's with Pascal Gross on the right-hand side. He's run to the corner flag, loses out to Xhaka, gives away the foul. Xhaka's wanted to get it moving quickly again. He does so, but no progress made forward as of yet. He's barking orders for his midfield team. Odegaard comes and receives it and then runs a foul, and Weepu's down holding his hamstring maybe, or certainly his thigh, so maybe it is time for just that Lamptey swap, which was going to be made just before he scored, so maybe he's overdone a little bit. Is he just signaling that he's twisted something? It's maybe his hip.
Yeah, he doesn't look too comfortable, does he? He's sort of gesturing that there's maybe some sort of issue with the hip there as he kind of overstretches, plants his leg down. It might just have tweaked, so you'd expect they will probably get him off here. 2-0 up. Still got 2 substitutions left, so it gives Graham Potter something up the sleeve still for one later on. And Lamptey's finally going to get his chance.
Yeah, it's fresh legs defensively. And also, if Arsenal are going to be coming forward now, so Brighton no doubt will. And naturally they'll drop back, so they'll switch to a counter-attack and get one more counter-attacking game. And Lamptey is a fine out ball on the right-hand side. He's got the legs and the speed to get you upfield very quickly and force a chance of his own. There's still no changes in the Premier League. 2-0 here, 6-0 to Chelsea at St Mary's, and just a 6. And Leeds are beating Watford 2-0 at Vicarage Road. In the evening game, we've got Villa versus Spurs at Villa Park. And then the lunchtime game at Goodison Park, a vital win for Everton, as they beat Manchester United 1-0, just to give them a bit of a breather in terms of the bottom of the table. Still what they needed to also looking like they're picking up 3 points as they enter the last 10 minutes down there. So there's Lamptey. He's on now for the Weepu, goal scorer of a fine goal. That's just going to be a simple straight like-for-like swap, and we can get the game underway again. As Gabriel in the centre circle helps it over for Cedric. Arsenal playing with a back 3 in this second half. It did look like it worked for the opening 15 minutes, but they're just unable to convert. Nketiah, he came on as well earlier on in this second half, and he hasn't made a print on the game also. It's not kind of like who's playing up front. Lacazette and Nketiah, both of them, which haven't been mentioned either of them in the second half.
No, they've not been able to find a foothold in the match, whether that's down to service or just the way that Arsenal have been set up today.
But here's Lacazette, edge of the box, helps it over for Pepe, brings it on the left foot, good block by Cucurella. And that's a lack of confidence really for Lacazette. I think it sort of opened up for him just on the edge of the box to find that top right or that bottom right corner, but instead he helps it over to a new man instead of taking it for himself. And the corner now will be taken by, it looks like, Odegaard on the left-hand side. Ball in, doesn't get past the first man, that's poor. But Trossard can't complete the clearance. And Arsenal will look to keep Brighton pemmed in as Pepe goes to find Gabriel at the back post. Gabriel wins his header, heads it back across goal, and Brighton clear their lines yet again. Arsenal will look to restart the Congress. Cedric, ball across, looking for Gabriel again. He's definitely the main target man. We mentioned earlier that he's looked the most threatening when he's got forward from a few set pieces. And Nketiah now on the ball on the left-hand side, not where he wants to find himself. With Lukonga, Arsenal going sideways. There's no penetrative force shown by the Gunners today. There's a little Pepe again. He's going backwards to Cedric. You've seen probably most of all the Arsenal back 3 in this situation. And Lacazette, heavy touch, invites the chance from Cucurella, who puts the ball out of play. And Arsenal just, there's no cutting edges there.
No, the star players just haven't turned up today. The likes of Odegaard and Smith Rowe, and the latter were still on the field, haven't been able to influence things in that final third. Like I said, we knew that his form wasn't up to much anyway, so that's not a huge surprise. Saka, one that is normally reliable, with that big chance in this second half, he fluffed his lines, put it over the bar. He's just not fallen for them. The need to try and address this before it becomes a real slump in form, back-to-back losses, could be hugely detrimental to them if they've got realistic hopes of finishing in the top 4. you'd still fancy they've got a very good chance of doing it, but the longer that this one goes on, the more likely they're going to find themselves sliding away and maybe outside it is below them, even missing out on football altogether.
Brighton are a side that likes to play football, and they've given Ford quite a high press. Hasn't worked out earlier.
The evening kick-off, chance for them to give them a bit of a breather, as Hope currently are on 54 points.
Play. He was forced to, as Brighton
Points in their favour, 3 points ahead of their North London rivals, as we just about enter 10 minutes to go. So poor ball forward from Arsenal, and Kieran will just simply clear his lines, and they're just looking to get it away as Brighton drop deeper and deeper. There seems to be no man leading the line at the moment. Nobody's pressing against the back three of Arsenal, just all interested in getting 11 men deep behind the ball, and Lamptey's cut that one out as it went over to Saka. He can't pick up that second ball though, and Gabriel just helps it back to Ramsdale. The applause from Potter, and that's it. They've just got to be a nuisance here defensively at Brighton. That's all they need to do, because Arsenal are their own worst enemy. We've created nothing.
Yeah, they've just got to keep it tight and compact now. They've done that job for 80 minutes. You expect that they've got another 10 in the bag. Just make sure that they stick to the game plan here, Brighton. They've given themselves that 2-goal cushion, so even if they do concede, that they've got a little bit of breathing space. But it's just been a really solid performance from the Seagulls today. They've come, they've won all the battles across the field, and they're going to get their rewards for it.
Absolutely. It's close to the perfect away performance in the Premier League you could ask for. It's a bit of a slow start. Maybe that was purpose from Brighton. Just let Arsenal have the ball, get into the game, and then get your goal just before half time. And then coming out in the second half, Arsenal come out all guns blazing as Lokonga goes into the referee's notebook. Whether that 15-20 minute storm come forward in a rare counter attack, it's a fine finish. We put a half volley just outside the penalty area. We have a goal at the Vicarage Road as well, and three goals and 3 points for Leeds United, as Jack Harrison has got the third with 5 minutes to go there. And the Brighton fans at the Emirates are enjoying their day out in London, as ever more confident in 3 points going back with them. As now Gross takes that free kicks, go into the box looking for a dunk on the far post. Ramsdale comes and collects it. As you can imagine, there wasn't that many players forward, and Ramsdale is furious with the lack of options with his teams providing. He simply has to roll it for Gabriel. And just going sideways. No one's rolling the dice, are they? Someone's got to take a punt, but here's Pepe running at Cucurella. Cucurella provides a strong defence and forces the Ivorian infield. Now with Gabriel, that Brazilian centre-half. Saka's now playing on the left into Nketiah. Brighton again remaining strong. Good triangles here. Slipped it through for Saka on the left-hand channel of the penalty area. Plays it across goal. It's a bit scrappy. Sanchez can't claim it, and Dunk pokes it clear. Sanchez is down, holding his face. I'll need a replay because he was nowhere near that ball when he came out to claim it. I wonder if the impact of his head was before the ball came across to him, because I think it hit his legs rather than his hands, and it did. Yeah, it's a follow through from Pepe, and as the ball was cleared, you see Sanchez on the deck.
Yeah, I think maybe he was just caught by the hip of Pepe as he kind of fell over the top of him. Great work from Saka though, running out of space, managed to squeeze that ball in into the dangerous area where there are plenty of players emerging. It's probably the best opportunity that Arsenal have created for some time, the most chaotic that Brighton have been defensively in the second period, certainly since they scored their second goal, and looked as though they were in a really comfortable spot. It's the worry, isn't it? As I said, the 2-goal cushion puts Brighton in a strong position. One back in the next 2 or 3 minutes just gives that nervous edge to the game. They'll want to get through as easily as possible, and I think Sanchez probably doing the right thing here. No matter how serious the injury is, stay down and try and eat up into the clock a little bit.
Absolutely. See some Arsenal fans turn their back on their team today and head for the exit. As Sanchez receives treatment, I'm sure Jason Steele, the reserve keeper for Brighton, will be warming up. Jason Steele, the Championship, a lot of games in the Championship with Sunderland, Blackburn, Middlesbrough. He's had one come to join Brighton. He's had one Premier League appearance, which was against Aston Villa in a 2-0 defeat. It looks like it may be a 2-0 victory, but I don't think he will be. Coming on as Sanchez looks to be okay. There's Trossard who makes away goal scorer of the first goal, and it's not uphill from there. Excellent performance from Brighton.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy with the way that they've performed this afternoon. Real tough run of form that they found themselves in. Few, I think, are giving them a chance of taking anything from the Emirates, never mind a clean sheet and a 2-0 win. Off the back of it, they're winning 7-6 losses during that sequence, but they've come today and just excelled, really. Webster on for Trossard, so further defensive reinforcements.
Yes, the last win was the 12th of February away at Vicarage Road against Watford, so just shy of 2 months since their last win. And as Webster comes on for Trossard, surprise, I guess what's happening there is Lokonga goes for goal, and it's not far wide from the top right-hand corner of Sanchez. That's the closest they've come for a goal for Arsenal, and it's nearly 40 yards out.
Yeah, it's just taken on by Lokonga, who found himself in that pocket of space. Opportunity to open his body up and strikes it sweetly. Kind of goes through it with the laces and dips towards that far post, but I think it's just fading, isn't it? Away from the goal. Across quickly with Sanchez. Would have been interesting to see whether he'd been able to get anything on it had it been on target, but pulled into action in the end.
It's interesting to see how many the fans would have turned around quickly if that one went in. As Nketiah now trying to give the run round on the new man Webster. Lamptey playing on the left-hand side, back to help him out. Goes back to Cedric, ball into the box. Not met by a man in red. It's headed clear by Brighton, then put back into the box by Lokonga, Lacazette, and Odegaard look at each other, go, you have it, you have it, and Brighton are able to clear their lines. Lallana and Gross give chase and force Arsenal backwards to the halfway line with Ben White. £50 million man looks forward, sees nothing, has to go sideways for Pepe. Now Odegaard, Gabriel wants it, and he's looking forward. He's got Xhaka in an ambitious floaty ball, tries to find Xhaka. Yes, it's ambitious, but he's giving it away, but there's not. It's rolling the dice as Lacazette goes down on the edge of the box, and Arsenal have another free kick in a threatening position, and they've had 2 of these now where they've been, I can't say anything other than absolutely rubbish.
Yeah, they've been really poor in these situations. It was good work by Lacazette. He kind of shapes to open his body up and shoot or pass, and then just rolled it through the legs of McAllister, who was left having to drag him down. Pepe, a pretty good set-piece taker himself. He may feel that we've seen others fail, that he's going to take control of this situation, but Odegaard, the man putting the ball down, might well have suggested there that he's going to be the one responsible. I'd be shocked if they try something off the training ground again. If they go short, then the Arsenal fans left there will be heading out as well.
Yeah, they need a goal, and the best way of doing that is probably having a go for a goal, really. As Brighton again put a 5-man wall up with a man in behind. Arsenal put that 3-man distraction wall, and it will be Odegaard on for goal, and he's hit the crossbar and falls out for Lokonga, hits the bar again. Arsenal can't get the ball in, and Brighton just about get it clear, and that's Arsenal's best chance with 2 minutes to go. I don't think they'll get closer than that, and then Nketiah following it up hits the bar.
Yeah, 2 golden opportunities. The initial free kick taken so well by Odegaard, palmed down by Sanchez, and then that follow-up off the underside of the bar.
Shot deflected from Odegaard, and it's in the back of the net. Strike of luck from Arsenal. I say they don't think they'll get closer than that again, but they've had it just this side pop from goal from distances, and we see fans returning to their seats as we have 90 seconds left of normal time. The young Norwegian is geeing the fans up, and he needs their support, and it just came from nothing. 45 yards out. Odegaard saying, I've had enough of this, trying to walk the ball into the net. Let's have a go from distance and see what happens, and the ball's in the net.
Yeah, it's just born out of frustration, isn't it? I think really so far from goal, hits through it, huge deflection of Danny Welbeck. Absolutely can't account for that from a goalkeeping perspective. Robert Sanchez is set and expecting the ball to come in one manner. It fizzes off and floats through over his head. Arsenal back in it.
Yeah, the wind is in fully in the Arsenal sails, but there's been a foul given against the Brighton defender, and Brighton will be thankful. It's Webster who's down holding his face as Nketiah and Saka were free on the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's full-time everywhere else. It's finished at St Mary's, Southampton 0, Chelsea 6, and at Vicarage Road, Watford 0, Leeds United 3. As ever, this is with the VAR stoppage in the first half, as I think Webster's realised he's made an error and played to the referee there. I'm sure he won't get up until the seconds have ticked into the 90, as we have 10 seconds left of normal time. Arsenal just scored their first goal of the game. The two still need another one to get points from this one. And Sanchez again just taking his time. We've had the full allocated 90 minutes. David Coote tells Sanchez to hurry up, and we're back underway. Still waiting to see how much added time will be added down at the Emirates as Arsenal have the ball on the edge of their penalty area. We will have 6 minutes of added time, so still not finished by a long way here down at the Emirates as Cucurella picks up on a loose ball, plays it down the line as a Brighton man goes down under a challenge from Ben White. Sanchez goes into the book for time wasting. Referee David Coote tells Lamptey to get to his feet, and we play on with Xhaka. Now Saka on the left-hand side. Nketiah as well. He's met by a good challenge by Webster, but he's still got the ball. Has the Nketiah, number 30 for Arsenal, runs to the left-hand side, peels it back for Saka. Saka shoots, but that's immediately blocked by Lallana. That's the first thing he's done really since he's come onto the pitch. Such has been the dominant possession by the Gunners. Odegaard from the distance where he's kind of shot for that first goal. Xhaka puts the ball towards the back post. It's overhit, but Pepe does well to get his head on it, but it's rather tame and it's collected by Sanchez.
You can see Arteta now trying to tell his players, or his wide players in particular, just to try and use that width as much as possible, try to spread across the field and really try to stretch Brighton, find the spaces. Need to be patient. I know we're into additional time, but it's a huge chunk of it, a minute and a half into 6. It's not that sort of just launch it into the box time just yet. That'll be in a couple of minutes time. They can afford to try and build still.
Absolutely, yeah. Brighton pulling everybody back, playing narrow. See if they can just drag a full back or even a centre half out of position and allow a midfielder to run through there. That's surely the instruction from Arteta, but Brighton remaining disciplined. They know what to do in this sort of situation. We've had 2 minutes of the added 6. It's with Nketiah on the left-hand side. Brighton just sitting back and quite happy to let him come to the edge of the box and then apply the challenges. He's had a couple of challenges nipping at the heels. He's headed over to Cedric. Now Odegaard on the right-hand side, left-footed ball in, headed clear by Dunk. But it's everybody's deep and back for Brighton. It always is picked up by a man in a red shirt. Now with Xhaka on the left wing. Now it's with Saka. Alistair goes over to apply pressure, leaves it up for Lokonga, goes for goal, and it's whipped through and it's well saved by Sanchez. Straight at him. Maybe he's looking for a little bit of a deflection also, just to take it away from the keeper.
Yeah, they'd worked it quite nicely. Arsenal got it into Lokonga, who's had a few shots from range today and just lets himself down a little bit as he does defy him, and he slips to the floor, and Percher's not quite there with the final shot.
Ball forward by Sanchez into the midriff of Welbeck, but the referee says that that midriff was actually his hand, so a free kick for Arsenal on the halfway line. Panic stations all around for both teams, I imagine, as Cucurella challenges Pepe, and the Spaniards won the ball back here, and they're not. Players are running forward left and right for Brighton, but they've lost out for Odegaard. Is there space for him to exploit? Saka on the overlap. Saka slips as he shoots for goal, and it's straight into the arms of Sanchez. And that may have been it for Arsenal. But there is still just over 3 minutes left, so like you say, Bobby, still plenty of time. But you thought Brighton again, they're stuck with their DNA. They're not thinking, right, you've won the ball, you keep it, try and do it by yourself. 3 or 4 Brighton players either side streaming forward. And Sanchez now, he's taken pushing the referee's limit with this time wasting. He's already in the book for wasting time earlier on. And he's, I don't think he's looking for anybody in particular. He's just harder than the other keeper, Ramsdale. And now it's all the way forward with Cedric, ball into the box. Met by the head, and it's a good save. Met by the head of Nketiah. Fine save from Sanchez and a corner on the right-hand side, Bobby.
Yeah, set piece, that'll be a worry for Brighton. We know how Arsenal have caused problems from these, but it's a nice delivery in and Ketia with the firm header.
Good run from the edge of the box as Ramsdale comes forward. Now Odegaard, left-footed, brings the corner. It's going to be towards Ramsdale. He goes to competes with Webster, but I think Webster got something on it. And it's a come out now to the left-hand side. Zaka takes control, thinks about crossing it, decides against that. Stands up his man. Can he get round his man? He can. He's now at the bar line. Can he pull the ball across to the back post? Headed there by Gabriel. It's down. Appeals for handball against Cucurella, mainly from the fans behind the goal. But it's gone for another corner as we enter the final minute of the 6th. Ramsdale again comes forward. Odegaard to take this. The assistant referee moves aside, and now Odegaard will take the corner. In it comes. It's a short one to Pepe. Pepe heads it back to Odegaard, and that's sloppy. That's schoolboy from Arsenal as it's headed back to Odegaard, and he's offside.
Yeah, decision making at times today for Arsenal has been hugely questionable. Another instance of it, just getting that ball whipped in. They've got height in there, try and utilise it to the best of their ability, but overplaying it has led to their downfall. That might have been the final chance they were going to get in this game, and now they find themselves having to retreat as Brighton will restart from the free kick.
Yeah, we just saw a replay of that Cucurella handball appeal, and it was comfortably into the chest of the Spanish left-back as the ball is kicked as far away from goal as possible from the Brighton goalkeeper. And now Arsenal have it on the right-hand side. Cucurella, who's played well today, defended well, heads the ball into touch. They're round about on the halfway line, are Arsenal, as they've got a few seconds left. Time is not their friend at the moment. That's good work from Welbeck, hustling and harrying Cedric, forcing him backwards and keeping Arsenal in the middle of the park. Now with Lokonga, who's kicked the ball forward, and that's it. That's the end of the game at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal lost to a side below them at home for the first time this season in the Premier League, and Brighton have ended a run of nearly 2 months without a win as it's finished Arsenal 1, Brighton 2.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off,